In the Season 2 trailer for Helluva Boss, we got a look at what appears to be new members of the Ars Goetia, with some unique looking characters that may confirm other demons, such as Beelzebub, are members of the Ars Goetia too. My name is Deepcut, demons call me ImpCut, welcome back to Cartoon Universe, and did you know that only 0.0000001% of our viewers are actually subscribed? Yes, that's a real statistic, I'm not making it up right now. No, seriously, 0.00001% of you are subscribed. Look at these very real statistics on the screen. Subscribe so they change. Now, Stolas is just one member of a large network of demons known as the Ars Goetia, who are of course inspired by the real-life writings from the Lesser Key of Solomon. This is a grimoire that is still easy to find online today that began circulating in the mid-1700s. The Ars Goetia was a complex list of 72 demons and their royal titles, showing how many of them related to each other in terms of power. Stolas, of course, was the first character from the Ars Goetia that we saw on the show, with the promise that others would appear later to fill out the cast. Stolas is just a prince, which is actually the third rank in the Ars Goetia after kings and then dukes, so there are many people in this hierarchy that have power over Stolas, and you could say he's barely in the actual important circles of this royalty. As of now, we don't know about the territories of the Ars Goetia, who may not have some sort of specified landmass to rule over the way these 7 deadly sins do. Some fans have speculated that they instead rule over the 9 circles of hell, which are essentially 9 cities that appear to all be in the Pride Ring. The first of these is Pentagram City, the capital of hell, followed by Imp City, the second circle of hell, but not much is known about the other circles so far. Instead, the Goetia seem to be more of a social hierarchy that has power in hell and performs certain functions, as opposed to ruling over any particular location. They may be scattered all over the 7 rings, though they may be somewhat divided into different rings based off of their species, as we will explore soon. Now at the top of the hierarchy are of course the kings of the Ars Goetia, the most important to Stolas being his own father Paimon. While we have met at least one other Goetia king in addition to Paimon, he is the one who appears to be the most focused on the actual conquering of Earth and the other duties of the Goetia. He refuses to care about the desires of his own son Stolas and has married him off to the horrible Stella in order to push the Goetia agenda. Also a king in the Ars Goetia is Asmodeus, who happens to also be the deadly sin of lust. This dual role within the show is due to an even earlier writing known as the Peter Binsfield classification from the 16th century, which lists Asmodeus as the Prince of Lust in Hell. With Asmodeus having this sort of dual royalty, it led to speculation that other demonic royalties and hierarchies could overlap as well. Important among these is Beelzebub, who is the sin of gluttony in the Peter Binsfield classification. And while Beelzebub doesn't appear in the Ars Goetia, Beelzebub is often syncretized with Baal. Baal was the name of the chief god in the Canaanite religion that Judaism grew out of. Baal simply meant Lord and was used to refer to the son of the chief god El. In Judaism, the Canaanite figure of Baal would be demonized, and in the New Testament they would be referred to as Beelzebub or Beelzebub, the Lord of the Flies. The terms Baal and Beelzebub would both be used in different traditions for a devil or demonic figure, sometimes being separate entities from each other and sometimes being one and the same. The demonic seal for Beelzebub and Baal are nearly identical therefore, with the seal for Baal in the Ars Goetia being a fly like the Lord of the Flies Beelzebub, just with different proportions. It would make sense then that Baal would be Beelzebub, the only problem with that until recently being that Beelzebub is not a bird. The Ars Goetia is not a hierarchy of bird-based demons in real life, but with Stolas being a bird in the show, the Ars Goetia has been presented as largely bird-like as well. Stolas is presented as an owl in the Ars Goetia, but many other demons are represented by animals or general beasts or even humans. Asmodeus has different descriptions in various writings, but to look related to Stolas in some way, the Helluverse crew focused on the writings of him as a rooster. In the Ars Goetia writings, Paimon is described as a man on a camel, but to make him the father of Stolas, he was seen as a shape-shifting demon in the show, taking different forms before becoming a bird-like Stolas. Other characters included in the show so far are Andrealphus and Vassago. Vassago is a prince like Stolas, but Andrealphus is a lowly marquis. Andrealphus was described as being like a peacock in the real-life Ars Goetia, making him a realistic character to have interact with Stolas while maintaining the bird theme. In addition to Indrielfis and Vassago, at Stolas and Stella's Goetia parties, the guests tend to be just birds. This bird theme even went beyond the Ars Goetia party and into the strange rich people cafe, where other Goetia-looking bird demons could be seen as well. This had led fans to believe that the Ars Goetia in the show will all be turned into birds, and thus Beelzebub doesn't quite fit in. However, in the trailer for the new episode featuring Indrielfis, we can see new Goetia demons in the background that aren't just birds. Instead, one of these demons actually looks more like Beelzebub, who is a fennec fox. I'm not great at species myself, but thankfully on Reddit, user BeastmasterZoo compiled which animals they were and what demons they seem to be associated with, which is great because we were just playing guessing games on what this species could have been here. We'll break down each of their identities next, but what's important here is that it confirms that Goetia members can simply be not birds, as even without this cat having wings, we also get this serpent over here and what looks like a smaller ram as well. This means that Beelzebub could in fact be Baal from the Ars Goetia, not looking too different from some of the other members already, though personality-wise it doesn't quite fit the character. While I do think this will pan out to Beelzebub being a king in the Ars Goetia in the show, I think she will be seen as a rather distant member. Not someone who doesn't show up at all, but someone more so like Osmodeus. Both are much more focused on ruling their rings, and in a way that is what they do for the Ars Goetia. That is part of what it means for them to have both royal titles, but neither of them would have the amount of interest that Paimon has in the actual controlling of the Ars Goetia, despite the real-life writings in the Ars Goetia painting Baal, or Beelzebub in this case, as the absolute ruler. According to Reddit user BeastmasterZoo, this cat-looking demon is none other than Citri, a prince in the Ars Goetia like Stolas, but who is themed after a leopard. But like his depiction in the show, the real-life Citri also has griffin wings. This demon is known for making men and women fall in love with each other, and he has the power to make them appear entirely naked. This character most opens the door for Beelzebub to easily take the place as the royal Baal, and it also opens the door for other animal and furry-based demons to exist as natives in Hell. Until recently, furry fans who wanted to imagine their own characters in Hell were limited to the sinners if they do not want to be a hellhound, as sinners can take on just about any form they want, particularly themed after animals. However, the inclusion of mammals in the Goetia makes it so that they don't even need to be royal members per se, but like Stella, they can be extended royalty, different species of animals that are linked to the Goetia, but for generations perhaps have just been living as relatively normal citizens of Hell. Right now, we still don't know anything about the territories of the Ars Goetia, but it would be interesting if, say, the birds that were constantly seen in the Pride Ring were natives there, but the more mammal-like species like Beelzebub or Citri here could have their family species located in the Gluttony Ring. Reptile Goetia members such as the snake over here could live in the Greed Ring, where we tend to see reptilian demons such as the snakes and the mysterious dinosaur demons in the background. Right in front of Citri, BeastmasterZoo believes this is a ram-looking demon, the King Balaam. Like Citri, he could be from Gluttony perhaps, or even maybe from the Sloth Ring, where goats with candles on their head exist as the primary species. Now, in addition to Stolas and this new character Citri, the shot also contains the princes Vassago and Epos. Vassago is going to be an important character, it seems, and like Stolas, was originally an overlord from Hazbin Hotel. The two were depicted as physically close in the teaser they appeared in, perhaps being aligned with each other, with Stolas being thought to represent the theater industry and Vassago the music industry as overlords. Vassago is heard in the trailer asking where Stolas is, and some fans have speculated that he will be something of a love interest for Stolas to explore as he and Blitz fall out from their breakup. Vassago is said to help people find lost things, and is also said to actually have a good nature, making him a character more likely to be a friend to Stolas at the very least, instead of an enemy. When asking for Stolas, it may sound like it's out of concern and wanting him to be there, with Indrielfis shutting him down because the more late Stolas is, the more trouble he can get in. Epos is a figure that is said to reveal all things past, present, and future, so one with great powers of prophecy. Epos, like a lot of the Ars Goetia demons, can take on many forms in the real-life text, with him being said to rarely have the form of a vulture, but it is one of his forms no less, and no other Goetia demon is said to take on the vulture form entirely, although one demon, Murmur, is said to ride a vulture, but this still makes Epos the most likely candidate for this demon. In the next rank down, we have marquees like Indrielfis, with BeastmasterZoo claiming that this bird next to the snake is a stork. I'm not great with animals, I wasn't too sure with this one, but for the sake of discussion, he is said to be the Goetia member Shax, a stork who has the power to find lost things as well, and uses lies to teach people lessons. Next down in the hierarchy is Bodis, who is just a president, the lowest rank in the Ars Goetia. Bodis is specifically said to be a viper, and in his human form is said to have 2 horns. We can see that he does have a hand, so isn't just a snake, so this would be his human or humanoid form in the show, complete with those horns. Finally, I wanted to save this black bird here for last because I wasn't 100% sure who he was. Beastmaster Zoo says it's Malphus, who he says is a raven, but the Ars Goetia says that he is a crow, though they are very similar. This demon could be either or, and there are a lot of demons listed as being a raven or having raven-like qualities, as even Stolas can take the form of a raven according to the text, something that perhaps influenced his beast mode design. This demon could be anyone, but he is wearing a special looking crown, so he may be a lot more important than a lowly president, though some of them, such as Ose, are said to trick people into thinking they are kings according to his entry in the Ars Goetia. So what do you guys think? Let me know your theories on the Ars Goetia and the more mysterious members here in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys next time.